Welcome back to the channel, guys. These are the similarities and differences in the one versus two-handed game. Let's get into it. If we're just getting started with bowling, you're deciding on bowling one versus two-handed, you don't know what to do. Obviously, I want you to try both, see how it feels for you guys. But I want to talk about a couple of tips. I'm going to give you two similarities and two differences between the two styles. We're going to talk about one difference first. The second difference, you're going to really want to stick around for this one because this one blew my mind a little bit. Really helped with my two-handed game. First, we're going to talk about the thumb. This is one of the biggest variables in bowling. Double-edged sword, blessing and a curse, whatever you want to call it. It's the biggest reason why we could do some things to a bowling ball, and it's also another reason why it kind of holds us back. So let's talk about these things. Let's throw some shots, and we'll go through it. Why is the thumb such a big variable? It's what hangs onto the ball. It's our anchor point in the one-handed swing. We have to clear it at the bottom. And that is typically the hardest part about using your thumb, is that point at which your hand is relaxed enough, but your hand is underneath it enough so that you can create effortless power. Effortless power is very, very difficult with your thumb in the ball, as opposed to two, because when you are not using your thumb, the ball's just coming off. Easy. You don't have to clear it, nothing. The hard part about bowling two-handed is this guy. This is your anchor point. Now at the top of the swing, and this is something that I struggle with a lot, keep that weight in the left hand more than the right. Keep it nice and relaxed, because in the one-handed swing, you want to keep your hand relaxed. If you have a good fit, the ball should just hang on to you. Here, that's not the case. Fit isn't really going to save you in this department, your left hand is. So I'm going to try my best to keep my left hand on it a little bit more than I normally do, because again, something I struggle with a little bit. So if you guys can see from the side there, my hand slips a little bit, and it's something that I'm constantly working on two-handed, but that's the anchor point. So the thumb and the left hand between the two styles, they're both anchor points. So you want to make sure you're using both. Now, if you don't use your left hand enough, now your right hand is becoming a little more dominant with the bowling ball, and that might compromise your ball roll. A lot of two-handers have very funny ball rolls, either because of the way they put their fingers in the ball, or that it's resting on the forearm too much, so when you get to the bottom, you're doing this. And that's what causes that really low tilt, funny ball roll, gets really hard to control. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with tilt, rotations, things like that, make sure you guys check out howtobowl.com. The link is in the description below. All right, so we're gonna go back to the one-handed style. Thumb in, like I said, anchor point. So if I put my fingers in the ball and then my thumb, my hand's in the same spot every time. With the two-handed, I've seen so many people put their hands in the balls a number of different ways. I try to replicate my thumb being in it and try to feel equal pressure on the pads of my fingers. That is the best way to try to get your ball roll at a better spot. But I have seen people put their hands in the ball like this, seen the other way, and that creates funny ball rolls, funny tilts. And if you hit the fingers, that could possibly be why. So here we go. Again, left hand, anchor points, equal pressure on the fingers. Let's make a good shot. A lot better than the last one. There we go. Yeah, I had a little more contact with the left hand, feeling that equal pressure on the two fingertips, and a great result. Are you always gonna get that great result? No, because it's bowling. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. There we go. That's the thumb in versus thumb out. Let's talk about our first similarity for the video. Regardless if you're one or two-handed, you want to create space for your swing to drop straight back and straight forward. So what we're gonna do one-handed here, we have what's known as the crossover step. So I'm a five-step approach. Our first step is just a timing step, but the second one's gonna step in front of the other foot so that my swing can pass through nice and straight, nice and free. Why do we want a straight swing? So we can be more consistent, so we can hit our target. All right, you might be asking, two-handed, how do we do that? Well, it's exactly the same. We want to let the body get out of the way so that the swing can swing straight. So two-handed is no different. The legs are going to get out of the way of the swing. The swing is going to have a slot to drop straight back. It just doesn't matter, just touch the head pin. Equinox, baby. So what are some problems that can come from not getting your body out of the way? One or two-handed, this is a big issue. A lot of times, players will walk straight in front of themselves. If they drop the ball straight back, we hit our leg. So what happens? We use our upper body to control where the swing goes. It goes around our hips. When that happens, that tends to get the ball way behind our head, and we drop it straight back down, hits our body. So what can we do to avoid our body? We go around, and now our hand ends up on the side of it, and that is a very weak position, and it makes it really hard to throw strikes. So you want to make sure that you get the legs out of the way, create room for a swing to drop straight back, and then our next similarity, dropping it into the slot, Ball wants to get back here. So this is gonna be tip number 2 for similarities. We wanna create room for the swing to drop back into the slot. So it's exactly the same. If we don't set ourselves up for a good shot, it's gonna be hard to make a good one. So here, I want you guys to watch. We're gonna make room to clear the swing on the way down, which is the first similarity. Second one, we wanna make sure we maintain this position so that we can let the ball drop into the slot, work the inside of the ball, keep our elbow in, keep it nice and tight to the body, consistency, power. Oh, I wish that struck. This is gonna remain the same for the two-handed game. We get to the top of the swing. There's room to work the inside now because our body's out of the way. Work the elbow in, keep the hand nice up back. Power, consistency. So name of the game. There you have it. So we got 2 similarities. They are one and the same, synonymous. You want to create room on the way back for the swing to flow nice and easy. And then you want space on the way down, which we call the slot. Work the inside of the ball, drop it in there, bam. Again, if we're too far behind, whether you're one or two-handed, we can't keep working the inside. Our body's in the way. So we need that straight path back so we can work the inside on the way down. You essentially want to walk around the swing. You don't want the swing to move around your body. The less we can mess around with this, the more consistent we're going to be. Which is going to lead us into our next difference, and it was mind-blowing to me. Alex Gurkov actually explained this to me. We're going to talk about the pivot point of the swing. So in a one-handed swing, your shoulder's the pivot point. Everything rotates around the shoulder. When we bowl two-handed, we now have our other hand on it, right? We can't just rotate around here, because now we have another moment arm or another thing attached to the bowling ball. That pivot point is now your center, the center of your chest. Everything needs to rotate around the center of your chest. So think about that. If you're gonna make the switch from 1 to 2, that's a really good thought process to have. Visualize that, because when I switch to 2 hands, obviously everything, all the one-handed stuff that I learned, I'm implementing into the one-handed game. It kind of just leaks over into it. But having that thought process has really allowed me to get this left shoulder more in front of my chin so that I can activate the left hand a little more on the ball. Am I great at it yet? No, but it's still a work in progress. All right, so pivot point, right shoulder. Everything rotates around that. Pivot point around the shoulder. You don't want to pick up your shoulder. You don't want to turn your body too much. You want to just rotate everything around this point. We call it keeping it quiet, keeping this still. The stiller you can keep this, the more quiet you can keep it, the more consistent you're going to be. Every time I give lessons, I ask my players what they want to get better at. Consistency, consistency, consistency. That's what I hear almost every time. And these are the things that are going to make you more consistent. All right, back to the two-handed style. Again, the center of the chest is going to be the pivot point. We're going to try to rotate around that spot. Just visualize that if you want to work on it. If you struggle with being too square at the line two-handed and not use that left arm enough because the body's not getting out of the way, visualize this being your pivot point. There you have it.
Hello, Senior Trios. The mystery number for $35 is 179.
179 is our mystery number for $35. Congratulations
179.
to whoever wins. 179. That was the final score I bowled at Team USA Trials in 2025 to drop from 3rd to 7th place. But we still made the team. All right, guys, so that's 2 key similarities and 2 key differences between the one-handed and the two-handed game. If you guys are interested in learning more about both games, check out howtobowl.com. Link is in the description below. Happy bowling. Hope you guys get better. Hope this video helped. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.